Okay, this meeting is being live streamed. Got it. Oh, I think. Okay, competent man, you've entered. Oh, good. Okay, so audio works. Audio works. Audio works. We have a go on audio. Okay. Let's see how this is. How do we feel? How do we feel? Open mic. This is the Daily Blob channel too. This isn't office hours. I don't know if people are going to ask me about Active Directory, hacking, cybersecurity. Who knows what these people are going to be asking me? Am I stupid? Answer is yes. Okay. One of the things I do need to do before I let anybody in is I need to put all this crap in the bottom. Crap is supposed to go out the bottom, not go in the bottom, but we're not going to get into that. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to grab this. We're going to grab the name for eBeggar. This is eBeggar Tuesday. Paste open mic edition. And then we're going to do this. We're going to do copy. And then we're going to paste that there. And yeah, we need to, the other thing we need to do, okay, my Streamlabs link. Why is Streamlabs not up there? I will get to you, the confident man. I will get to you. No, I don't want to stop the live stream. I don't want to stop the video. I think with this output, virtual camera out, start. Oh, I don't want to, fuck. Anyways, okay, we won't do that. Cancel that. We won't do Streamlabs today. We will not do Streamlabs today. Okay, let's see. Nope, so I killed that. Minimize that. Save that. Pull that up. Yeah. All right, so there we go. So we got that going on. We're at auto 720p. Let me bring out the chat. Pop out the chat. Do a live chat. And there we go. This thing on. Okay, so we're trying this out. Just to make sure. What is my audio? Okay, so my audio. Oh, I don't want LG audio. I want AirPods Max audio. All right. Okay, now we're doing AirPods Max audio. Select as a speaker, AirPods Max. Come on now. Okay, if I listen. Hold on. Hold. Make sure this is working. I don't know. AirPods Max audio isn't too bad. It's like a little lower. It's not quite as whatever. Oh well, fuck it. Admit. Let's admit people. How do I see who the hell else is here? Oh, there we go. We got a competent man. On the line. Oh, I had somebody else too. Hello, competent man. Are you there? You have to unmute yourself, competent man. Okay, the competent man is just there. What's he doing? Who the hell knows? I don't know what anybody's doing. So, anyways, yeah. So I don't know. This is gonna be like bullshit session. Bullshit.
I'm here.
Oh, there's the competent man. How are you doing?
Good. I think one of the things that's confusing is that people didn't notice that you have a Zoom link in the description. There's still 8 people waiting on the YouTube placeholder.
Oh, They didn't see the link. Well, okay. Here, let me go over there. I don't know. If they can't figure it the fuck out, I don't care. Hold on, let me see here. So what are you up to today? What's going on?
Not much, though I was surprised to see you trying this out this way. I mean, if you get 50 or 60 people, seems like it's going to be kind of a free-for-all.
Oh, you're adorable. You're so optimistic. Yeah, sure. Yeah. If we get 50 or 60 people.
Well, yeah, I think once people notice or realize that you're online, the people are going to start piling into the room. Because with Silicon Dojo in effect and all that, you've only been on once in a while, and it seemed like that you really weren't doing like live broadcasts. You were doing pre-recordeds and loading up.
Yeah.
Well, which is fine. I mean, it isn't like last year where basically every afternoon, like clockwork during the week, 1:30 or 2 p.m., we knew you'd be on.
Yeah. Last year, I was losing my mind slowly.
I think you could also post the Zoom link in the chat on YouTube if you have the settings set up for it. Sometimes YouTube won't let you post messages with links in them.
Let's see here. Boop. Oh, it posted. Does it actually work? No, it actually works. Holy shit. There you go. Posted in the thing. So anyways, anybody else who wants to show up, there's the link. Is this pre-recorded? No, Dave. Yes, Dave, it's pre-recorded. I could see into the future, and I knew Dave was going to ask that question, so I'm answering it now 3 hours beforehand. No, this is live. So anyways, so what do you do in life? I see you pop up on my show quite a bit. What do you do in life?
Basically, I've been doing remote accounting work.
Okay. Like QuickBooks type stuff, or?
Well, let's see. One customer's on an old programming accounting package called Real-World Accounting. I actually do source code modifications for that. But the other larger customers, they're on something like Oracle or Mapix, which is an ERP system from the 1990s. Basically, they have a bunch of divisions and business units, and the one I do work for, they're on Mapix. And then to consolidate financials across everything into headquarters, they use Oracle and Hyperion.
Holy crap. How big is the company?
I believe the entire entity worldwide's 20 billion in revenue with 70,000 employees.
Okay, fair enough. I guess they're big enough to be dealing with that mess. Cool.
So the reason why I've been actually fortunate ever since the shutdowns and everything have been going on is that basically every day from about 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning till sometimes midnight, I've been at a computer doing work for them or other people. So I got a 4-monitor setup. So I got their stuff running on 2 monitors, and then I got 2 other computers doing other things. So basically, that's how I've been able to, and again, last year I was very fortunate. Typically in the morning there was another YouTuber, the Black Brigade. He'd be like doing readings of philosophy and such, and then in the afternoon attending your items.
Okay. Yeah.
And then even outside of regular work hours, since many nights I was on till like 9 or 10, I'd be able to, just watching other stuff like Rossman or Erica on her smaller channel and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. That's a lot of work. So you've been doing remote work for a while, or is this just since the COVID started?
Well, pre-COVID, they were trying to do an experiment where they were going to have people working 1 day a week. So it seemed like they were trying out sort of remote working, and they were doing that for about several months. So they basically mandated 1 day a week everybody had to work outside the site. But then once
Okay.
the shutdown started, March 16th, they basically, everybody that could stay out of the building, they booted out of the building. And even now, like, they want people back, but then somebody tests positive, so then they kick some people out. And even though in theory everybody's supposed to be in 4 days a week, since they're mandating masks within the building,
Ooh,
anybody.
ooh, ooh.
Well, the thing is, if you think there's a problem in the building and you don't need to be in the building, stay out of the building.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, me with my setup, I actually have, because the main machine, everything's electronic now. There is absolutely no paper. Not like there's a copier in the like sort of my area, but I don't think it's making 10 pages or scans per month. Um, so everything's already online, but remote, I actually have better internet access because I'm the only one using my line instead of like sharing it with a few hundred other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Plus, also saving travel time, because, and again, going on site no longer gets me anything useful. There are a few other people, they have dismal internet service, or they don't really have an area that they could work in. They've got like wife and kids all around and such. So they actually prefer and really need to be in the office. But anybody in my situation, there's absolutely no need for me to ever be on site again.
Damn. Damn. Do you get lonely though? Like, are you used to doing the remote work kind of thing?
Well, again, most of my project before that, I spent a decade at another publicly traded company. So I was around people. And again, they probably could have done these setups like mid 2000s once internet broadband became fast enough, but nobody really wanted to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now everybody's getting rid of all their paper. I even have a situation where I have a number of boxes of paper that's being stored, but I could see over the next several years that that's all going to get aged out and just be sent off for secure destruction. And then, anything that's needed will be on some hard drive somewhere. Basically the thing would be is to make sure I just have a proper backup scheme, multiple backups in various locations so that if something happens, I don't, lose it all.
Yeah. Yeah. See, but I just wonder because they've been talking about this whole remote work crap for like well over a decade. But then it didn't go how they thought it was going to go. They had problems, like it was counterintuitive. Like a number of years ago, they found one of the biggest problems with remote workers was actually burnout, that people didn't stop working at the end of the day. So that's where I just wonder with this. Everybody seems so excited, but I feel like we've had 10 years of playing around with remote work, and it didn't work how people thought it was going to before. I don't know.
Well, that is one of the things. One advantage that I do have, since everything I do is basically based on a monthly cycle, the end result is journal entries that are in PDF form with a a post and a completed stamp, and then Blackline, which is an automated tool for collecting reconciliations of all the balance sheet accounts. So basically, if you've got all those, that you've done everything you're supposed to for the month and everything's correct.
Yeah.
A lot of other people where they don't kind of like have that end point, they could easily just spend 16 hours a day all month doing stuff. I've also noticed recently that things have actually somewhat settled down, that they're not having like one-offs or exceptions or stuff that they don't know what's what. So I'm actually able to take off 3 or 4 days a month now. Last year I wasn't able to do that. And again, I did have periods of time, especially the days where, I'd start working at 8:30 and I'd be working till a little past midnight for a few days in a row, that I just really wasn't feeling well. I mean,
Yeah.
typical day, I usually like to go out at midday for a walk around the neighborhood because there is a park nearby and such. And then if I'm still working, maybe another one about 5 or 6 p.m. There's also like an elementary school at the edge of a path through a small patch of woods. So, it's about a 15 or 20-minute walk. You go out and come back and around. Um, I also did find from time to time I'd be bored or just felt still in the middle of the afternoon. I'd go out for like actually a 15 or 20-minute drive. Um,
Mhm.
Now, I'm not completely alone. That is one advantage I have. I'm actually working out of a house that has other people in it that I'm living with. Um, and again, there are other people. If I really want to go visit them, I can. Um, so at least for me, it's been all right. And again, it saves me about an hour of travel time every day. Plus, I'm not using the car or burning gas.
Where do you sound like you're from up in Boston or somewhere? Where are you at?
Central Massachusetts.
Okay. Yeah. Same thing up there. Pretty small states. Yeah.
Well, it is interesting because I know that you're on the East Coast first in Baltimore and now in North Carolina, so you're in the same time zone. And I am kind of surprised and impressed that you've got people, that are 12 hours off in like, India or Southeast Asia that are coming into the program or
Oh yeah,
broadcast.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're just stuck with COVID quarantine too, and they don't know what to do at midnight. I don't know.
Well, again, the stuff that you do is very informative and all that. One of the things that's interesting that I think long term, I expect that Lewis Ross, but at some point, it seems like that he's edging towards moving his operation to Florida and just leaving New York as like a satellite office, at least until the
Yeah.
lease runs out.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder. I wonder if Lewis can leave. He seems like just such a New York boy. Like I know he wants to leave. I don't. I think he's gonna keep talking about it for the next 20 years. That's where I put my five
Well,
bucks.
the thing is before the outbreak, and I actually even downloaded and saved the video of day 66 when the store was finally finished, and
Yeah.
there's kind of like a cute little segment where Erica does this sort of like running across the uh, lengthwise of the store because she's excited that the whole thing's finished and everything. And at
Yeah.
that time, again, there was no outbreak, no restrictions or anything, because he sort of discussed, the whole thing, why don't you just have like a little 400 square foot in New York and then, operate everything else out of a warehouse, say like, 60 miles to the north or whatever. And his thinking was, and I sort of agree with it, most of his business was walk-in. Plus, if anything goes wrong, someone says it's, fixed and they start it up and there's a problem, at least everybody's right there, can immediately look at it and solve the problem.
Yeah.
But after COVID, most of the people out in the city now, and that they're probably never coming back. I'm seeing estimates that only like even now about 20% of the offices are occupied. And of course, without the office crowd there during the day, everything else withers.
Yeah.
And then I think what really did it for him, I don't know how closely you followed it. They sent over somebody from the city division of consumer affairs and basically gave him a good kick to the groin with the fine for selling the 2 used laptops.
So I saw that one. Yeah.
He got it reduced, but the implication was, quote, if we catch you again, we're going to shut you down. I did some research and apparently there's a whole thing where, it's considered a bailment and you're supposed to go through a whole process to transfer ownership to you. And you're also supposed to report it up into a system. Which I can see a little because yes, all right, we're trying to make sure that people aren't stealing like laptops and pawning them off or at like electronic repair stores or pawn shops. But of course, in the situation where it was obvious that he wasn't aware of this, plus the thing that really bothered me, anybody that's in this regime, working for the city, while they may not be lawyers or anything, what a bailment is and how it impacts or works in their area should be at least something they can understand. So when they ran across something like Lewis's situation, they would explain it to them and also not give them a fine of like 7,500 per violation. But I think what really did it is that when it came time to renew his license this past year, because he never got the paper from the prior year, which has a code on it, he wasn't able to access the system online to register. And you can't do in-person you can't go in person. You got to schedule it. So, again, now you have all of the drag and costs of being in New York City, but you're not getting any real benefit. So in that situation, he could go down to, one of the things he showed was some, it looked like a huge office space, like 4 or 5,000 square feet. It looked like it was almost like the first floor of a building, and it was next to a park that was next to the ocean.
Oh yeah, I saw that. No, but that whatever number he tossed out has to be bullshit. He was talking about some idiotic rent number on that thing. I cannot think would be
What?
real. He was talking
Or
like that was like $5,000 a month or something.
Yeah, I could believe that if it's depending upon the area. I mean, New York, that wouldn't get you, that would only get you like, a few hundred square feet. But depending upon what's going on with the building and how long he was going to lease it, and plus, well, don't forget also, it looked like that place was probably going to need a build out. And that's probably where, it looks like even the concrete floor was partially torn up. Um, I remember mid 2000s, I was with a guy that was looking for office space in the Boston area, and there was some new building that was coming near completion. It was like what I would consider like grade A office space. It's what I would call palatial, and he only wanted about 1,000 square feet. So and the rate at that time, it wasn't outrageous. It was like $25 a square foot per year, which in and of itself wasn't that bad. He was over at the Park Plaza paying like 23. And that's mostly that's a somewhat rundown building, even though it is a historic landmark. However, they did mention while they were showing him, oh, by the way, the build out's going to be $60 a square foot. And as we were walking away from the place, he was like, well, that's not too bad. That's only $6,000 I'd have to spend. And I said, no, it's 1,000 square feet. You'd have to spend 60,000 on the build out. And and the build out for his part was just going to be like, basically some sheetrock walls with like the metal supports, and maybe some carpeting and a little lighting with a drop ceiling and some switches. It wasn't going to be anything extravagant or like built-in shelving or anything. But in order to go into something that was a little above market rate, he was going to have to, well, you could pay up front, but usually what they'll do is they'll offer you the option to finance it as part of the lease. So every month on top of your lease, you'd be paying for your build out at like 8 or 10% for the 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah, see, that's the only thing that I wonder though is again, once you start stacking up all of that, I don't know. I wonder if he'll actually save as much money going down to Florida. It's just to me, it's like, when you look at like what a crap hole New York is, but it's like New York is the only place in this country that is like New York. I just wonder, can you transition out of New York, even if you want to?
Well, the other thing that he could consider, again, I actually, and I think I mentioned in a few chats, I was hoping that, him and Erica were going to stop by on the way back from Florida and look around the area and actually even maybe even consider it in the area you are there. Because, I mean, Asheville does seem to be like, I don't know if it's really a tech hub, but people seem to talk about it like it is an upcoming tech area. At least
it's more like a whole bunch of out of towners with remote work have moved here. It's essentially what it is. But yeah.
Right. But the other possibility that you might consider, I think he quoted he's paying 12 or 13,000 a month right now for his space. If he wanted to, he could actually construct. I think that he could buy land and construct something of 3,000 or 4,000 square feet for less than that per month. I mean, he's got a business that works. So I would probably say, and again, a lot of places are getting absolutely silly with lending money. As an example, I wanted to have a little bit of a cash reserve. So I went on one of those peer-to-peer lendings and applied. And I applied for an unsecured loan for 25 grand, and they approved it within a few hours.
Holy shit.
Well, but again, and again, that's completely unsecured. If I was doing something that was secured, I'm sure it would have been easier and the rate lower. Whereas, he's got like a decade track record and everything. He could probably depending upon the land and building, I would probably guess he could easily do 3 or 4, even 500,000 and he'd have a few thousand square feet plus some land, and it would be a lot less than what he's in now, and it would be his. He wouldn't have to worry about a decade from now they decide that his 13,000 a month is way too low and they're going to charge him 40,000 a month or something, because it's New York.
Yeah. But are you saying that you think you can build that in New York or build that somewhere like here,
Oh,
like
no.
Nashville?
Well, I would say it'd have to be somewhere, some parts of Florida and possibly Asheville.
Yeah.
I know you've described, 1 minute. Sorry, I just had someone bringing me food.
Yeah. Right.
But I would probably consider that even though residential's is going wacky, and I'm sure the locals are getting concerned about it, because the out of towners are pushing the prices up all over the place. I would expect that probably commercial stuff is still somewhat reasonable. Plus,
around here, yeah.
Plus, I would imagine you probably noticed this on the outside of the built-up areas. There's probably all kinds of property that zones commercial that's available, and again, compared to New York, is dirt cheap.
Yeah. That's where I wonder with them, like if Houston might not be a better option. I was kind of thinking think about Houston a little bit more, but I don't know. He got focused on Florida.
Well, I think again, if you have to pick a place to live in the country, Florida has a reputation, nice warm weather, beaches, people are pleasant. Now, of course, it always seems like whenever they run some story on the news about something nutty happening, it's always like somebody in Florida or something. But and again, there are disadvantages. You are, depending upon the time of year, in Hurricane Alley. I heard that something like no part of Florida is more than like 20 or 30 feet above sea level. So if something rolls through, it really does a job on it.
Yeah.
I think there was a hurricane like in the late 80s or early 90s that basically all didn't roll through Miami. It sort of missed it. It went through, I guess, Dale or Dade County, and I guess it caused enormous damage. And it was about the time that insurers realized that they weren't pricing their insurance right, because it was basically something that rolled through less dense or populated areas, and they had over $1 billion worth of claims. And they were concerned, what happens someday if a hurricane rolls through Miami? And I think we did have something like that. Seem to recall one of the tropical storms, somebody taking streaming on Twitter from his condo, and he wasn't able to go down to the street because the bottom floor and a half or so was all flooded out from the storm surge that was still washing around the building and everything. You couldn't really tell where the ocean ended and the coast started. Basically the only markers was the buildings poking up out of the water.
Yeah, Christ. Yeah. I think the one that was bad in the 90s was Andrew. And I think the problem there, I think the insurance companies actually went bankrupt, which is a horrible thing. But here, let me see. We got Warren Atwater here. Oh.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, Warren, unmute yourself if you're actually there. Or not if you're not. Warren,
hit the space bar or do a Control A.
If he's real, I don't think he's real. Warren is just a figment of our imagination. Yeah, oh well. Anybody else who wants to join this whole little whatever we're doing here, yabbering, you can join using the link I just gave you all in the chat section. It's also down below. So we got two people here. We got the competent man, who is a real human being, and we have Warren, who's a fake human being. So join the fun. So.
Well, it's also possible, a lot of people, unless they're doing this kind of stuff, they may not be, while you need some sort of speaker to listen to the YouTube broadcast, a lot of people really, even now, don't bother with a mic.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I say, it's just an experiment. I did the office hours over on the main channel. That was pretty good. We had like 10 people show up. So that's where I was just kind of curious. It was just a bullshit session. How many people would show up?
I take it the whole Silicon Dojo's going better because I did see that I guess you're moving from the 300 square foot to 5 or 600.
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, fuck. It's I don't know, it exists. Yeah, no. A week and a half after I rented the new space or moved over to the new space, Asheville put down a new mask mandate. So Buncombe County and Asheville, anything essentially inside, everybody has to be wearing masks. And that's going to go until at least September 30th, which basically means it's going to go till next year. So yeah, basically I'm using Silicon. Oops, we lost the confident man. I'm using Silicon Dojo for basically to film my videos because that's all I can really use it for since we have the mask mandates back.
Oh, I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think anywhere had really enacted them again.
Yeah, no. Well, the problem is with Asheville. Asheville's wonderful for so many things. Beer, you want good beer? Asheville's a place. You want good music? Asheville's a place. Holy crap! You want to talk about virtue signaling? They put out billboards on what they believe. So I like my wife and I've talked it with other people. It feels like more of a political statement than anything else, honestly, because the deaths here aren't too bad. The hospitalizations don't seem too bad, but they want to show the world what we really believe in, and so we get mask mandates. Yeah.
Is that local or a state order?
No, so it's a city and county. So since Asheville's incorporated, so Buncombe County, the county we're in, actually enacted it first. But then since Asheville's incorporated, Buncombe County's policy didn't affect us. And so Asheville, our city council got together for an emergency meeting and said, darn it, we're on too. So that's just this little corner of North Carolina right now.
Have you noticed that any of your views or income on YouTube's been recovering after the 3 or 4 strikes?
Yeah, my oh, YouTube is getting so bad. Yeah, no. Well, it's I don't think it's really the strikes. I mean, I was making money talking about dumb, controversial crap in the tech world. And so once they kept giving me strikes, I stopped doing that to do the education videos. And the reality is, people want the Inquirer. They don't want a college degree. So yeah, my revenue's down. I don't think it's not the strikes per se. It's because I've modified my content, which just isn't clickbaity. Screaming about COVID or screaming about whatever, that gets the views.
Well, it is kind of strange. I do find it unusual that, YouTube, they're trying to automate everything and they have this, you know, 3 strikes, you're out. Instead of like, and again, it's like, nobody knows what could trigger a strike really. That they try to avoid any problems, but every once in a while, everybody steps on a landmine. And if you do it, and if this is your main income and you got to do it every day, you run the risk that you're going to step on 3 landmines in 90 days, and then you're going to blow up.
Yep.
And then you have other bizarre problems like Graham Stevens with his, fake people pushing stuff with a screen name similar to his. And YouTube doesn't seem to have any answer or explanation as to why this is happening or whatever. One thing that I am kind of surprised at, I always thought screen names had to be unique, like for indexing and all that, but apparently not. Yeah. Either that or they're allowing characters like control characters part of them. So someone makes, Graham Stevens with a control A and they post comments on it. And, because you don't see the control A. So everybody thinks it's him pushing some ridiculous product or whatever. Yeah. And it seems that YouTube, because the whole thing is if they don't sell advertising, they're not going to have revenue. And, the way you sell advertising, you have people coming to content creators to view what they're doing. It seems that they should have the system better organized. If an advertiser doesn't want their stuff to appear on somebody's channel, it's, it seems like they could easily modify the code so it just doesn't show on certain things or excludes them. Instead, they throw a fit at the creator saying, you got to make your stuff, advertiser friendly.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole question. I think the problem is out of Silicon Valley and all of these social media companies is they are philosophically against giving any users control. Like if you look at all the problems, everything from Facebook misinformation to advertising issues on YouTube, if users had more, granular control over what the hell was going on, I think a lot of the problems would be solved. But they don't want to give that power because, like, again, like I don't like Sargon of Akkad by any stretch of the imagination. I hate most of the stuff he says, but he has a huge following, and there's a lot of eyeballs that are watching him, and there's a lot of advertisers out there that want that particular set of eyeballs, right? I think it's like the duck hunting people. I don't know, they do these little duck hunting. Anyways, they go for conservative Christian. They go for, and the thing is, like, if you could have advertisers come in and say, okay, we want our ads to show on these channels, then that solves a lot of the adpocalypse type crap. But that would mean that the higher ups would actually give users control, which they seem to find horrifying. So Mark Yates, hello. We got a video on you.
Got no audio.
Oh, got the audio. Got video and we got audio.
Carry on, I'll fix it.
Right. So there we go. So anybody else wants to join? There's the link down below. I don't know, bullshit session. Come talk bullshit. So anyways, oops, Mark Yates disappeared. Technical issues on the Yates. Technical issues. Where is James S? I have no idea where James Shackelford is. That would be weird. That would be weird if James Shackelford shows up. He's giving me so much money. I have no idea what the hell his voice sounds like. Oh, that condo collapse in July 2021 was terrible. Well, crap happens. It's Florida. It's Florida. It's kind of surprising more condos don't fall over.
No audio.
Oh, well, I hear you now. You do have audio. Well, I hear you. I don't know if you hear me. Anyways. Anywho, Ford algorithm from Mark Yates to everyone. Strange, no audio. Well, we can hear you. Oops. Fuck, can I type? We can hear you. All right. Anyways. Well, this is a little anticlimactic here, I have to say. It's a little anticlimactic. I was hoping a few more people would show up. But then again, we only have 30 people watching on the stream. So yeah. Oops. Did everybody disappear? I'm alone again. I'm alone.
Have you ever considered about streaming to multiple platforms?
Yeah, I tried that back in the day. I tried that with Twitch and I tried that with Facebook. And the thing is, I hate Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg should burn, metaphorically speaking. And then Twitch, I'm just not a Twitcher. I think you have to be a special type of person to be on Twitch. Nobody on Twitch liked me. So I'm kind of stuck with YouTube. I'm on the YouTube ride until Susan cancels my account.
Well, I do notice other platforms, they seem to have these like disconcerting or disorganized like interfaces, and it's like flashing colors all over the place, particularly Twitch and Discord. But for whatever reason, most of their audience seems to like it like that. And then there's some other alternate platforms that are minor, that their interfaces are almost unreadable. Like they'll have a fluorescent green background with black lettering or something I don't know how people are actually thought that was a good idea or anything for that color scheme, and there appears to be no way to change it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem. I think some of the smaller sites, they they just have really crappy user interfaces. Pretty garbage, honestly. And then like with Twitch, I think it's like, it's a culture. I don't know if it's culture, it's a branding thing. Like young people like Twitch. You know what I'm saying? If you get cracked out on your monster drink and you have ADHD, I think Twitch is your place to be. But if you're not, it doesn't really work out. Because they have so much stuff going on Twitch. They have a whole language and all kinds of wacky crap. I completely do not understand what's going on.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned Twitch in particular. I don't know if you saw the movie that came out a few weeks ago, Free Guy.
No, I haven't seen that yet. Is that a good one?
It's interesting. Basically, the premise, it's like a whole video game company villain, and one of the hero of the movie is actually like one of the NPC avatars that through its programming and AI actually comes to life or self-aware. I don't, but it's also interesting, because they then have other commentators, and I think that Twitch personalities, like, because everybody's wondering who's the person behind the character, and none of them seem to realize that it's actually a programmed character within the system.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's one of the things they're doing now is they have the fake people on Twitch, right? Don't they have they're completely animated, doing bots or whatnot?
Well, I don't know if you remember, but about I think a decade and a half ago, there was some online service called Second Life or Second City.
Oh, Second Life. Yeah, I always meant to use Second Life. I never got around to it, but yeah.
And yes, they had people with basically you could have, you build an avatar and then you were like that avatar, and the whole thing going around doing stuff and interacting people. And I guess they even had their own economy going. And I guess it was causing problems because some people were using the fake in-game economy or currency units to do stuff in the real world or to exchange them. Oh, wait, someone else is coming in.
Yeah, Randy's on there. You there, Randy? I see a bald head up there. Using your cell phone, I guess. Oh, connecting to audio. All right. You there, Randy? Oh, Mark is back. Randy, are you there? Can you turn your microphone on? Can you hear me? No, we can't turn a microphone.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you. No video anymore, but I can hear you.
Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, now we good?
There we go. Got video and audio.
More better.
2020
More
right
better.
Yeah. More better. There you go. Yes.
Nah, man, I'm just taking a break from working on the house. But listen, I want to know if you have a minute to talk about web design, actually.
Sure. What the hell? Yeah.
Especially in regards to WordPress. I'm kind of going in a new career direction. I know I talked to you probably about a month or two ago when I was in welding school, and I figured out real quick that welding's cool as a skill. Doing production welding for 40 to 50 hours a week in a shipyard, not so cool.
Yeah.
So
why not? You were gonna be my whatever. It's like, look, that guy went off and did welding. No to welding.
No to welding. Not as a career. No, I've been wanting to actually do web design for quite some time. And I don't know why I didn't get into this years ago. When I had my CrossFit gym back in the day, I actually did my own websites. I used WordPress. I used Squarespace. So I have some general understanding of it, especially in regards to like HTML, CSS. I definitely need to brush up on it. But I kind of want to go in this direction. And I think right now is a good time because I have no interest in going to an office job wearing a mask, especially like you said, the world's collectively acting stupid right now. So I think this is a good time to maybe try to launch my own business. I can do this from my house. I have a good idea on kind of client acquisition. I'm not afraid to go out there and pound the pavement. I want to target small businesses and just do low hanging fruit, basic business websites using WordPress. You see a lot of these restaurants over the past year went online with their menus, doing QR codes, things like that. Nothing super complex. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't know. It is 2021. I guess that's the whole thing, is how much money do you think you're going to get out of low hanging fruit at this point in time?
I don't know. I haven't really done a lot of market research on it. I know you've done web design in the past when you had your store, but that was a long time ago. I wouldn't mind doing web app development either. I don't know really how to get into that. And I don't know like how that would go as far as a career move. Again, trying to get a junior dev job at 43. I don't know. That might be kind of tough.
Well, no. I mean, as long as you don't go with Facebook. What you have to understand is when you see like Tech Lead or any of these jackasses, they're talking about the FANG companies, Facebook, Apple, Google.
Right.
And the world is much more than those people, though. You know what I'm saying? And coders are in massive demand. So, yeah, 43 getting a job in code, your first job in coding, you may not be a rock star. You may not create a new, the new iPhone.
I'm not trying to be the next coding ninja, man. I'm just trying to pay the bills. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And if I was going to go more of the web app development route, I don't have money for a boot camp. Although I've heard your pros and cons about boot camp. I think a boot camp would be good for me since I'm kind of focused, but I don't want to spend $10,000-$11,000 on a boot camp. What would be the next route to go, you think? Self-taught.
Yeah, I mean, it's self-taught. I mean, so where the hell are you at in the world anyway? You're in Massachusetts, but where?
I am not, but I knew that dude was from Massachusetts because I'm in Connecticut. I'm in Connecticut, and I've listened to that accent for 40 years now. So spot on. I knew where that guy was from. But no, I'm down in Connecticut. I'm down by the shoreline in Connecticut, right off 95, I-95.
Oh, let me see what the fuck the map looks like. That's a hard thing.
I'm literally about midway between Boston and New York City, 2.5 hours in each direction on 95, and I'm in either city.
I love how you people up there like that. 2.5 hours either way. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I guess so. Fuck, 2.5 hours. And you want to stay at your house? You want to stay where you're living?
Preferably, yeah. I'm down in it's called Old Lyme, Connecticut.
What's it called? Olam?
Old Lyme. Old Lyme.
Oh,
like Lyme disease.
Old Lyme.
Yeah, Old Lyme. Yeah. It's actually where Lyme disease came from.
Oh, great. There you go. Oh yeah, you were just like fucking there. God damn. That's what I hate. You remind me of that guy like last week at the open office, and he's like, "How do I get a job after school?" And I'm like, "Well, where are you at?" He's like, "I'm from South Sudan." Like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, who the fuck? Yeah, move.
Yeah, so you're 20 miles from someplace like New Haven or whatever. 40.
Yeah,
miles,
like New Haven.
Hartford.
When I look for jobs, it's more like New Haven, Hartford. I'm even willing to travel to Providence because Rhode Island's got a pretty big tech scene, believe it or not. Providence is in the area relative to Boston. It's a pretty good tech scene up there. So, Providence isn't out of the question. Obviously, New York, Boston, no. Hell's no.
Yeah.
Hells no. I don't know. No, hell's no.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the main thing is I think you need to befriend coders. Like one of the things I did here as soon as I got to Asheville is I started going to the meetups. And so one of the things is, even though I'm a shit coder, if I actually had to pay some fucking bills, I now have friends and I could kiss their ass to get a job of some sort.
Right.
A lot of people don't think about that. It's just the actual enterprise. Like, do you have somebody you can call that can vouch for you? Because so much right now, they need coders so badly. It's not that you need to know how to code. You need to trust that you will come in and figure it the fuck out.
No shit.
But, yeah, really? but you have to, somebody has to vouch for your ass, because everybody out there wants a coding job. Nobody actually wants to code though. You know?
Right.
And so that's the thing. Like when you go to meetups, if you have any meetups around there, you kiss people's ass. You figure out what languages they actually need there, because there's 50 languages. I mean, at this point, like again, you've got Node, you've got React, you got Python, you got C#, you got Java, you got Swift. I mean, I could probably sit here and literally name 20 languages that somebody I know is dealing with right now. And so you have to figure out what they actually care about. And then you ask them like, hey, if I start learning this, can I start picking up little jobs? Can I create a little module for you? Can I do some things? And then you prove that you can actually do something, and then they generally hire you.
So I've dabbled with I started with Java actually, and I didn't like Java. Java was tough, and I thought it was kind of convoluted. And then I went to Python, and I thought I like Python. I like Python a lot. You can do in 3 lines in Python, which 10 in Java. So if hypothetically speaking, but I dabbled with Swift a little bit. So I've dabbled. I just never picked up on any one coding language and really went for it and really said, yeah, fuck yeah, this is what I'm going to go and do.
Yeah, and that's what you need because the problem is like once you get your foundation in technology, then you can fuck around with a lot of different things. Then you can know enough to build your project and walk the hell away. But again, you have to get to that point. You have to have a foundation anybody gives a damn about. So yeah. And so that's a nice thing with coding nowadays is you can learn it all from home, and if not for free, relatively inexpensive. Like even Udemy, it's like $300 for their nano degree program. So it's still peanuts.
Right.
But you got to know what language people in your area actually give a shit about. Like I know one person right now that if you dedicated yourself to fucking COBOL, he would pay you.
I remember hearing you say that. I was laughing about that, but you're right. A lot of government systems, and I saw this with the lottery, are running on like these legacy systems, these old school systems, and it's no wonder why this guy gets paid, because nobody knows how to do that shit anymore. But it's still necessary.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, like that's what's hard, like with new people, is there's like this fucking chasm, because there's like you trying to get a job, and then there's this guy who bits through the fucking nose, and whenever we go out to have beer, he's like, "Fuck, man, I had to just say no to another X number, project." And I was like, why the fuck? It's like, I don't have time. I literally do not have time for all this work.
Right. Fucking me. No, I appreciate the time. Taking your time talking with me. It was cool. I just kind of wanted to see how this office hours work too, and get your thoughts on this career direction I'm trying to move into.
Yeah. Like I say, if you get some thoughts, the office hours over on the main channel, that's going to be like more of this kind of stuff. And this, I don't even know if I'm going to do this again. This is just bullshit. Yeah. You
still offering that one-on-one tech tutoring where you can do signups?
I saw it on here. Well, it was here. When we don't have masks again, it will be here, but that's not going to be virtual.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, and that's the thing with the meetups too, right? So at the time I was getting fired up about going to meetups, they put these mask mandates back, and even up here, especially in this area, because New York City and Boston got hit hard with the corona, so that even Connecticut's taking it pretty serious, So it's tough to get to anything in person right now. Sucks, man.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, that's where one of the things you might do is just a good old fat, back when I was a youngin', we used to do these things called informational interviews. Honestly, you might just, pull up on Google in your area, any kind of development company, and just ask if you can take the HR person out for a cup of coffee.
Huh. That's an interesting idea.
Because I mean, that's how it used to be, right? We didn't, like, back in the 90s, we didn't have the internet like this. And so in order to figure out what the hell people needed, you actually had to talk with them. And so that might be, I mean, it kind of sucks to have to do, but it's reality, but that might be an option for you. Just start saying, hey, I'm in the area. I really like technology. This is what I really want to do. This is what I'm doing. Can I have a cup of coffee so that I can understand what your company needs, wants, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Very interesting. I like that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Well,
see you, man.
Have a good rest of your day.
Okay. See you later. Oh, Yates. Yates is back. Maybe.
Well, I have fruit.
What's that about fruit? I don't know. You sound a little scary right now. Oh. Yates walks away. Well, that's my life sometimes. Hello. They walk the hell away. Like, yeah, okay, I don't know what's going on. Oh, anywho. There we go. Yeah, so if anybody wants like the normal, I don't know, office hours type thing. So that's the thing on the main channel. So Thursdays, what I'm going to do is every Thursday at 2:00 for like 2 hours. That is where I'll do office hours. So office hours will be focused on technology, business, that kind of thing. You come in, you say, hey, I'm thinking about creating an app. What do you think I should use? Or whatever. Then I'll spend 2 hours yabbering with people at that. Again, this is just a bullshit session. This is just like, wonder how this will work. Yates is back. He's back. Maybe. Oh crap! I can't hear you. I did. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Can you hear any sound from Yates?
No, I could hear like I could hear that it was like he was talking through like 4 floors or something.
Oh, well, at least at least it's using the right source then. It's not, it's just, I don't know, like a volume or output problem with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can hear. It's like, wow. It's like kind of creepy. It's like Yates is creepy. Wow, 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 wow. Like right before he left, I literally heard him say like something about fruit. It's like fruit, and they walked away.
Is that?
Oh, there we go. Now I can hear you.
You crack me up every.
So what's going on? Yates, what are you up to?
I just recently got.
Shit. You broke it, dude. You broke it.
I broke what? Oh, is the microphone damaged? Weird. I haven't touched it. Okay.
You're back to a whisper.
Anyway.
That's weird. Is it a broken microphone? Seems almost like the amplifier's dying on it. Because it was where it worked for 10 seconds. Worked for 10 seconds.
I see what's going on. It went back to 17 again.
Oh, there you go. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm such a totally unprepared idiot today. That should stick.
That should stay. Okay. All right. What was going on? That was weird.
The volume lowered 17.
Fuck. Did it again.
And raised it to an appropriate.
Just so you know, this experience of people having all kinds of tech problems setting up, it isn't at all unusual for this type of environment.
This is Fedora, so I don't know, but I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just saying this kind of tech setup problems isn't unusual. One of my friends, he was sort of like, well, he was one of the organizers, and he was sort of like their tech lead for an online conference, one of the professional wargaming circles. You know, they have a lot of academic, military, government people attend the conference. And basically, I believe he had 1 or 2 assistants, and it took him like about a full week or 2 to make sure that all the presenters had systems that were set up and working, and that they knew how to do stuff with like Zoom and the Discord server.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he had to go through everybody because everybody had various setups and different issues, and some people just simply, while they had used similar software or hardware, they hadn't used the exact one, so they didn't know how to do things. And even then, when the day came, they had some interesting flubs. Like there was one interesting cutaway of him. He didn't mean to do it, but he accidentally had a camera on him. Is that like he was standing up and going off to do something else instead of the PowerPoint deck that was up on the for everyone to see. Had like about 50 to 100 people in the the Zoom call that was being used for the presentation.
Yeah. Yeah, well, hopefully it won't be too many
Yeah,
technical problems.
No, this is casual, so I'm here in front of the cam and professional now.
That's cool. So where are you at? I thought you were in the
10
UK.
minutes later.
What's that? I had the idea you were in the UK. Where are you at? Fucking. It's gonna kill me. Hey, Peanut. I can't hear you again. I don't know what is going on with your volume.
I'm just gonna quit and try again another day. It just don't. I'm gonna reach.
Okay. I think I heard you're gonna say you're gonna try again. So we'll go over. We'll talk to Michael Zwiener. Oh Jesus, I'm gonna screw that one up. Zwiener. Michael, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Hey, you're hey.
I'm about to say, is my audio okay?
Yeah, he is okay.
So
What's going
yeah,
on?
no, I honestly just saw it streaming up and figured that out. By the way, I appreciate the recommendations for the Dragon's Milk. That stuff is really good.
Oh, yeah. Are you in this area? Are you in North Carolina?
No, I'm actually in Missouri.
Missouri. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was actually wanting to ask you. So I'm wanting to try and get into. We're in the process of building a house, and so I'm going to try and set up like a lab and everything once we get that built. And what would be possibly a recommendation to slowly start, getting things and to have a lab that, you can tinker with and do things. My idea would be to build something like you built on your channel, like an RC car or a drone or something like that. So just trying to figure out something to do to go from having nothing to having something that works.
I mean, so when you want to do a lab, like what's your end goal? What do you want to learn? What do you want to have in your lab?
So right now I'm a developer, mainly Java. I want to learn things like Arduino and Raspberry Pi and using automation to try and control objects. Like I said, building a drone or building a RC car or something like that, and trying to experiment with bringing software into the real world type of a situation.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, probably the best bet. Like, so if you're gonna do Raspberry Pi, get the Raspberry Pi 4 with, I'd say, the 4 gigs of RAM. I think it costs like $50 for that one. That's a good one because you won't run into any resource problems. Like you can get the 4 with 1 gig of RAM, or you can get the 0 with even less, and those can be used for some things. But when you're sitting there playing with it, they're fucking, like when you buy a $10 computer, you get a $10 computer type of deal. So I'd say for the base, I would get the Raspberry Pi 4 with 4 gigs of RAM. And then past that, I would say probably your best bet is to just go into Amazon and find one of the kits. Like they've got a lot of kits with, they've got a couple of everything in it. So you might spend $100. They'll give you a couple of ultrasonic sensors, a couple of servos, a couple of motors, all of that kind of thing. And then basically get that and then learn how to make all of those things work, and then figure out what you need to build a car or something like that.
Awesome. So another question is I know that you are keeping Silicon Dojo local to where you live, and you're not doing like, classes or anything else, but would you be, so as far as getting a time out there, what are your normal hours that obviously with COVID and everything that's, blowing back up again. So I understand, but what is your forecasted normal hours that you would be looking to try and do?
All my forecasts went in the toilet so many times. Yeah, so I got the new place, and the idea with the new place is I was going to be open basically every afternoon. And then a week and a half after I got the new place, we got our mask mandates back and a lot of things. And so they're here until at least September 30th. And I have to believe they're going to be here until the next year. And so unless there's a reason for somebody to meet me at my place, I'm probably not going to be doing live stuff there until January or February at this point.
So are you going to start doing live stuff on your channel for, running through one of your courses or kind of beta testing some of your courses?
Yeah, well, no, basically what I'm going to do is, so I started putting out the classes again. So I've done the 2 cybersecurity classes. One of them got published this morning. So I'm just going to knock out a number of series of just classes on the normal channel. And then I do the office hours. So people can ask me kind of questions like this during the office hours. But otherwise, that's kind of where we're going to stop, because the problem is Jesus Christ, troubleshooting in the physical world, when you're right beside me, like when this is in front of me and we're troubleshooting, that's a pain in the ass. I am not fucking smart enough to troubleshoot over Zoom. Like, so if you had your thing and you had set everything up and then it wasn't doing what it was, oh my God. Because I mean, like, it could be a bad electronic component. It could be a bad pin on your board. It could be crappy code. So yeah, that will never be like, I will never do that kind of thing live on video, just because there's too many factors in it. Yeah, because that's one thing. Like, I think a lot of people virtually, you can do code, right? So like if I was teaching you how to build websites, you could write your code. If it doesn't work, I could grab your code, I can modify, because you're just dealing with the code. Like with this, you're dealing with so many physical components that go to it, and anything could be wrong, Yeah.
And you can't really troubleshoot human stupidity, so that becomes an issue.
Yeah. Well, it's not even just human stupidity. Like, I always like to laugh at people, but again, like you might get something that's bad out of the box. Let's say you want to do a little thing with the servo motor, and the servo controller is just fried. Like, how the hell am I going to troubleshoot that? For, like, it's one thing if I'm taking a look at it, tippy tap, oh, okay, this isn't working right, grab another. But if we're trying to sit there and figure it out, yeah.
So what did you, so I became a developer. I used to be a chiropractor and just completely changed careers. And so I don't have a degree or anything. So I know your history from what you shared on your channel. So what would you, besides just tinkering and understanding it that way, other resources that you use or would recommend to use to kind of learn more about the kind of what you do and how you do things?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just online anymore. I mean, what's awesome now is that all the documentation is there. So like you have to know enough to know what the hell a function is. You have to know enough to know what you're looking at. But the main thing is, once you figure out the products that you want to use, all the documentation is there. Like I said, like with all of Azure's functions, right? That serverless architecture. I mean, they got 50 pages of documentation. They have the actual code snippets. They literally have everything that you need, as long as you know what the hell an API call is and can figure out the basic stuff. And so really, I think that the big thing is, and that's where I say you need to figure out what problems you're going to solve, is you need to figure out what the hell it is you want to do. Then you figure out what products do what you want to do, and then just go and do research. And most of the stuff is out there for you to learn. I think the only time you really need the better education, like Udemy's, like their nano degrees, is if you're diving into a much broader subject. So like if you were going to do machine learning, so where you're at now, you decide I'm going to go all into machine learning, then you might want to go for a nano degree, just because they're going to lay out so much for you, so you understand what it looks like. But again, if you already know basically what products you're trying to do, let's say you wanted to create like an SMS, some kind of SMS control system, right? Okay, you go to Twilio, you pull up Twilio's documentation, and by the end of the day, you've built your little SMS control system. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to monopolize you from your everybody else, but I appreciate the insight. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, no problem. Yeah, and like I say, for you and everybody else, so office hours is gonna be the normal thing on Thursday on the main channel. So if you have any more questions like this, feel free to drop by to the virtual office hours over there. All right, let's see here. Is Nathan there? Is Nathan a real human person? Oh, oh crap! You've got the volume too. Crank up the volume. No, Nathan left. It's weird. So volume seems to be the issue. See, that's why you buy the overpriced AirPods Max. All you do, you put the AirPods Max on your head, you talk. People can hear you. Hopefully. Unless all of a sudden I just got muted. Who knows? I know this is interesting. It's kind of interesting. So this is all like Americans today. Because when I did the office hours last week, or the week before, I don't know, whenever I did the office hours, it was all international people. Like there was a person from Israel, there's a guy from Ethiopia. Again, anybody out there, if you think your life is bad, if you were sitting there crying into your milk about how bad your life is, there was this one guy, he was finishing his education in Ethiopia, and he was from South Sudan. He was asking me how to get a job. I do not know. I do not know how you get a job in South Sudan. Anyways. Anybody else? Nathan, is your thing not working? Come on, Nathan. I believe in you. I believe you can make your microphone work. Oh, he's back. Connecting audio. Connecting the audio. Nathan Pillman is connecting to audio and can't hear you yet. Can you hear me now? No. So anyways, how do you guys like the AirPods Max? They look a little, I don't know. They look a little hipsterish, I have to say. I feel all hipster. I feel like I need to go out and buy like a Frappuccino and get a skateboard. Drink a Frappuccino while I ride a skateboard, listening to my AirPods Maxes. But otherwise, I think the audio and everything seems to be working really well. We are going to have our first interview this week. So Friday, well, hopefully. Hopefully. Everything in my life is hopefully. Hopefully on Friday, we're going to be having our first interview. That's one of the reasons I got these overpriced things, so I could start doing interviews and start doing more of this Zoom stuff, because Zoom is now part of our life. Zoom is now part of our life. I don't think it's going to go away. We are stuck with Zoom for a long time. What do you think about Apple doing hash checks on phones? I think that was stupid. That was absolutely stupid from a brand standpoint. Tim Cook has come out and said, your privacy is the most important thing to us. And then he's going to start hashing all of our private pictures, sending those hashes to their system, and then comparing that against child pornography. And we have no control of the system. There's no transparency into the system. There is no control over the system. What happens when there is a match? We don't know what's going to happen. And so basically what Tim Cook has said is, we are literally going to code your phones to spy on you. And remember, as soon as you can hash against child pornography, you can hash against any freaking thing else, like any image, right? So if you have a picture of an ISIS flag, for whatever reason, that gets hashed, that matches the hash of the ISIS flag, all of a sudden you get a call from the FBI. Of course, what Tim Cook tries to say is no, but no, we're not building it to do that. We are only building this in order to check for child pornography. And it's like, yeah, well, you know, shotguns are only built for people to shoot duck, you know, until somebody turns around and shoots up like an auditorium. AR-15s are only made for hunting and self-defense until somebody walks into a movie theater and shoots it up. Because that's the thing with any kind of technology. Once it's created. You don't get to really control how it'll be used at the end of the day. And as soon as Apple creates that technology, then how do we know any of the governments aren't going to force them to use it? Because again, if we all agree that child pornography is bad, which I mean, not starting there, it's bad, right? But we all agree that is a reason to intrude upon people's privacy. Well, then, I mean, terrorism What do you want? Terrorists using your phone? Oh, I guess we got it. Do you want, right? And it keeps adding. Again, we have no control mechanism. So no, I mean, again, I think that's like what's interesting for me is Lewis Rossman. He keeps pointing at this whole right to repair bullshit. Sorry, I'm not fully on board on that whole thing. But anyways, there's this whole right to repair thing. And like, there's this idea that people are going to leave Apple because they can't swap the freaking capacitors on the board. Look, I've got a non-Apple equipment. I can solder. I don't want to solder. I'm not going to solder my Apple equipment, regardless, even if I could. The bigger issue is more of this weird ass control stuff that Tim Cook is trying to put onto these systems. Again, so you can. Apps are only going to be approved for the App Store if they don't compete with an Apple product, right? If I spend $1,000 on an iPhone, I don't give a damn if a mail app competes with an Apple product, right? If somebody creates a mail app that's darn near identical to the iPhone mail app, but the colors are a little bit different and the font's a little bit different, and I prefer that user experience, then I want to buy that fucking mail app. Again, trademark and copyright, all that kind of thing aside, the fact that Tim Cook says no, your app is too close to something that we like. What? That's not what I'm spending $1,000. And again, if we look at the ARM processors, they're trying to push the Macs themselves to be more and more like that, to be more and more closed within their ecosystem. That is what's going to get me to leave Mac. Again, when Tim Cook pushes down spying on our phones, right? They are literally designing our phones to spy on us, send the hash values to them, and then in a very, very opaque system, like law enforcement, they may become involved, right? And again, like what I think about with this, why I get concerned is, so my wife, I don't know. My wife uses some apps. She uses one of these communication apps, and her friends, they're meme traders. So, anyways, anytime they see a meme, they send it out to everybody. One of the problems is her picture gallery is all screwed to high hell and back because that particular app, whenever she opens that picture or looks at it, it automatically gets saved to her picture gallery. Do we see a vulnerability here? Does anybody else see a vulnerability? So if you know people are using an app like that, and then you send them kind of pornography, it goes in, it automatically gets saved to their camera roll. Then Tim Cook is hashing the pictures on there. So obviously the hash matches child pornography because child pornography was sent, even though somebody didn't request it, even though somebody didn't want it, even though it was simply sent to the phone. And now all of a sudden the FBI is being alerted to you have child pornography. No. So, yeah, no, Tim Cook's out of his gosh darn mind as far as I'm concerned. I-776 gave 25 RONs. Here's $5 US in Romanian money for the cause. Thank you. How are we doing, Nathan? Nathan Pillman, are you there? Is he there?
Yeah, is this mic any better?
Yay! I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Fancy headsets don't work when you leave them at home.
Oh yeah, that would be a problem. Yep. So what's going on with you? What are you up to?
I'm just at work, but I'm here to trash talk your Dragon's Milk.
Trash talk? Oh, fuck you. You do not trash talk Dragon's Milk. That's some good shit right there. I want Dragon's Milk, actually. You guys keep talking about Dragon's Milk. I might have to go buy some tonight. It's been a while. You don't like Dragon's Milk?
No.
No? How do you not like Dragon's Milk?
I got the two types of one that was like a reserve and then one that wasn't, and I didn't like either.
Okay, so you have horrible taste. I see, I understand. Really? You don't like
maybe the
nice
supply in Kansas City's bad. Maybe that's just the reason.
I don't know. I mean, you get the good stout with a nice bourbon aftertaste. I don't know how you can dislike that. I don't know.
But I was wondering if you ever saw the Windows 11 update. Now they're enforcing you to have a Microsoft account to even use the computer.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that one. Yeah, I hadn't paid a lot of attention to Windows 11. I probably should because I'm a computer guy. Are they there? But they're actually forcing you. There's not like some weird little get around where you can just use that local account.
You can only have a local account if it's like a corporation PC.
Really? Well, that's dumb. All of these fucking tech companies have lost their frickin' minds. Huh. Yeah.
In Windows 11, they
If you
still
have
having that.
key.
Got 2 minute people talking, one person at a time.
Oh.
Nathan, you go, and then Confident Man goes.
I think if you have the Pro Edition, it might let you make a local account, but only if you're like offline or something.
In Windows 11, are they still requiring that new special hardware? I guess it's supposed to prevent changes to BIOS or boot track.
They require that TPM key, whatever.
Yeah. Their idea with that is it is supposed to make the operating system more secure. So.
Well,
I'm just waiting for in 6 years. 4 years will now lock you out of your PC.
Wait, what was that? Yeah, I missed what you said, Nathan. What did you say?
Oh, I don't know what. I think I dropped out. But in probably 6 to 10 years, Justice Warriors will start locking you out of your PC like they did on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, that is a weird thing with like the terms of service. Like, if you do something wrong, you might lose access. That would be a hell of a thing if you lost access to your computer.
Well, one thing I do wonder about Windows 11, are they going to do like the forced upgrades they did at the start for Windows 10? People would have a whole office full of like Windows 7 machine, and they'd leave them on overnight so it could do backups and virus scanning and such overnight. And some companies came in the morning and discovered that they had designated Windows 10 upgrade as a like a high priority upgrade, so the machines would automatically update overnight and the reboot, and then people would come into a Windows 10 desktop. There were some companies that had massive problems because whatever enterprise software they were running wasn't compatible with it. I know one person who went through that. You know, even though he had backups, they were only like a few months old, and he had all kinds of research work that he had for like fluid mechanics stuff. Did the update in the middle of the night and it crashed in the middle of it. So basically it came up to like a DOS prompt, leaving him at a directory tree.
Yeah. All the fun I've not had to deal with now that I'm using Macs. Yeah. I don't know if they'll force you with Windows 11 because they purposely want to force everybody to Windows 10. But since there's a lot of hardware that isn't compatible with Windows 11, I don't know. I'd be surprised if they try to force upgrade people again.
Well, there's an easy solution for anything that's not compatible with Windows 11. You just got to buy new hardware.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. I'm so reluctant. If people need to upgrade, I don't mind doing it. But I hate how for a while there was like all kinds of like, forced stuff that, stuff would just simply stop working on XP. So then you had to go to 7 and then it wouldn't work on 7. And then you had to go to Windows 10. I ran into that with like TurboTax and Intuit's line of products.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that though too is just it's also whoever's writing the code because I think that was the issue is stuff that was built for Windows XP wouldn't necessarily work on Vista, and so when you upgraded it to Vista back in the day, that was a big problem because a lot of the old software would work on Vista, but then as developers kept upgrading their software, then they just made Vista the baseline, and so that's what you had to have. So yeah.
Well, it is funny within the last year or two, even though we've had Windows 10 out for a number of years, I've run into software packages that one of the required add-ins or installs, if it isn't already on the machine, it will install a runtime of Visual C 2005. Meaning that there's still people developing and working with it and writing programs for it. They didn't see any need to do any of the decades since upgrades to the Visual C.
Yeah.
So are you still, I get the impression that you're still about at least break even for the fundraising for Silicon Dojo.
Yeah. Silicon Dojo is basically break even. Yeah, right at this point. I've been planning to really push the whole donation effort when everything kind of went to hell. Yeah.
And I noticed from the smaller office, it looks like you even got a few monthly sponsor plaques that have been purchased.
Yeah, no. Well, I was selling them, and we were literally on the cusp. I basically locked down a sponsor when everything went to hell. So yeah, now basically everything is just funded off of crowdfunding at this point.
All right, but at least there's still enough, because again, I get the impression at least at this point you break even, and it is funny because I remember you were talking about your original plan before even moving to Asheville. You figured it was going to take like several months, and I think the target date originally that you weren't going to be doing anything really till August 1st, but then you got like your I don't know third or fourth strike, which fortunately was within 90 days. And you realize you might as well go now because you never know when the Yahoo bots or Susan or whatever order will come down and there'll be a purge or just nuked or whatever.
Yeah, that was
yeah. Oh, wait. I'm always surprised at somebody like you with 1 million subscribers. You're not as big as some other people, but 1 million is there must only be a small percentage of people that even get that high. And I know that, because we joked about it, you never got your subscriber button or anything.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't like YouTube just doesn't like me. Yeah.
Well, I sometimes wonder if part of what's going on is that they, because it seems like they got a new like middle and upper management. So everybody just wants to, they want to go in a different direction just because so they can say, they did it and this is theirs. Regardless of the results or what else is going on.
Yeah. Well, that's been the big problem with YouTube, where they don't know what the hell they want to do because that was the thing. So I've been on YouTube now since 2009, and that was I remember when YouTube was giving out the creator grants to people like Philip DeFranco, where they put aside like 50 million, either 50 or 100 million dollars, and directly funded just independent content creators to create better quality content on the platform. But then at some point they flipped over, and as we saw a few years ago, they decided they wanted Hollywood, right? They started pushing, I have no idea, Demi Lovato, they started pushing for some reason. But they're going to get all these Hollywood, these real music people onto the platform. And that's one of the issues we have is like every year or two, they literally seem to change their business model on what it is they want to do. And then for us content creators, we're kind of left, we don't know what to do with it. So I see we have a call in. Do we have a call in from 913? Blah 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 blah. Are you there? Oh crap! Your phone number is showing up online. I don't think that's a good idea. Well, that was not good. Ignore that number. Ignore that number. Don't let him dox himself. Eli, your account was terminated because you doxed somebody. I didn't fucking dox. They dox themselves, god damn it. Oh, technology. It's so fun. So, okay. What's that?
Oh, do you think I don't know, maybe this time next year you're going to be growing beyond the 500 or 600 square foot space that you're in now? No.
I have no idea. Depends on what our political class decides to do. Again, like my frustration. Again, I'm vaccinated. I believe in science. Blah blah blah. My frustration is I don't feel like our politicians actually care about the science, and that's where we get these dumbass policies. Like Ash. I genuinely do not believe that Asheville should have a mask mandate right now, but I think it's a political thing. And so when you have the mask mandates now, when you have, the Lambda variant, when you have the new variant, when you figure, basically their whole thing is, well, we have to do this until more people get vaccinated. But basically the people that want to get vaccinated have gotten vaccinated. Again, I'm not in the middle of this argument. I'm just stating fact. Like, if you want a vaccine at this point, you've gotten it. If you don't want a vaccine, you're probably not going to get it. And so if we're having these restrictions under the idea of we have to continue having these restrictions until everybody gets vaccinated, and a huge chunk of the population is like, no, that's for me and like my business. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, it's very interesting here. So in Western North Carolina, this is so screwed up. So basically, the hospitals want to mandate the vaccine for all hospital workers. But here's the really screwed up part. We are already so short-staffed for hospital employees that they know that if they mandate the vaccine for many nurses and things, the nurses will quit. And literally, losing the nurses by quitting is considered more of a structural danger than getting them vaccinated. And so like that's where I get like I don't fucking know what to do with this. Like, how do I create a business plan? So I thought I was on a good path. I was pretty damn confident. Now I don't know what's going on.
Well, that was the other thing. Once they started finally taking off restrictions, I figured, all right, well, that's it. They tried them for a year and a half. No matter what happens, they're not going to go back. But as you're in an area that's already going back. In theory, I'm in an area without any restrictions, and I guess also Connecticut to the south of me. However, again, one of the things is there's a business that I got a partial interest in. So I got 2 webcams there. I can see people going in and out of that place all day with masks on, even though it's not required. And then some places here in Massachusetts, like the city of Worcester, I guess they ordered that all of their facilities, everyone has to wear masks. And then, again, but it's not anything statewide at the moment, and it's local. And then, of course, everybody else is just doing whatever they feel like.
Wow.
And then you got somebody like you're wondering, what can I do to run a business or whatever? And, things keep going up and down, or, open it up, shut it down. And it's, shuffling all around, and you don't know where they're going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was my frustration. So like, I got that office. So the first office was like 270 square feet. And so the reason I got the first office is we had the mask mandates, and I legitimately figured the mask mandates were with us till August. Like, again, if you looked at the fucking science, the mask mandates should have been with us till August. And then literally they're talking about 2 masks. So Fauci and everybody's running around saying it's obvious everybody has to wear 2 masks, whatever. And then like literally 3 weeks later, CDC comes out and says, okay, if you're vaxxed, you don't have to wear a mask. And so all the mask mandates everywhere just disappeared overnight, which was that was stupid. That's why I get frustrated, because that was if you looked at what was going on, there's no way you could say the science had changed to the point that mask mandates should have disappeared. And so then they go so the politicians can get patted on the back. And now, like I say, at the end of August, then mask mandates are coming back. And it's just this, it's this, right? So I rent one space because we have mask mandates. Mask mandates leave. So I increase the size of my space, and mask mandates come back a week and a half later. And it's just like, and I think the hard part for me here in Asheville too is, again, so many people here. Again, it's a political statement, without being snarky on it. It's a political statement, and so like there's a lot of places. Like if I was outside of Asheville, even though like Buncombe County has mask mandates, people in Buncombe County don't give a crap. It's kind of funny. I went to the UPS store, and I went in, and nobody in the UPS store was wearing a mask. And I asked them, I said, hey, I thought we all had a mask mandate. And the guy just looked at me and was like, I don't care. Took my package and walked away. But that's the thing. That's like outside of Asheville. Inside of Asheville, I have no doubt somebody would narc on your ass and I get fined. Who knows? Mark Yates is back. Still can't hear you, Mark. All right, see you're smiling. Talking about fruit. I don't know. I see your lips are moving. I literally can't hear you. And this is the part of the talk show where we all stop talking. Oh, Mark. Fedora, you say? So don't use Fedora. Okay, I grasp that. Oh, that was a laugh. Was that you, Mark?
No, that was me.
No, that was you. Oh, well. Poor Mark. Poor.
Well, again, this is the first time you've done anything like this on Zoom, correct?
Yeah, well, no, I did the office hours last week. I had people internet. I had somebody from Ethiopia hop on. Nobody else had issues. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Well, no, I didn't realize that. I missed that. Actually, it's funny because I was assuming that most of your stuff was only going to be just pre-recorded and uploaded. I didn't realize in your area, because actually I was wondering why you had seemed to, like, lately, like the last week or so, broken from what I would consider a regular schedule. I didn't realize or was aware that in your area they had reinstituted mask mandates and all that. And and I'm kind of surprised. I would figure that North Carolina would be sort of closer to, say, like what Florida's doing, because someplace with, I would have expected like the Northeast to put them in place before a place like North Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. The person with the phone number 913, if I admit you, your phone number is going to show up for everybody. That is probably a bad idea. So if you have a 913 phone number, I am going to remove you from the waiting room, because I think you doxing your own ass is probably not going to work out well for any of us. So is there any way to modify that? That sucks. Let's try to not dox our users.
Zoom documentation says there should be a setting within account management and then account settings and then audio conferencing tab. And somewhere, I guess there's a checkbox for masking phone numbers.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's see. Audio. Share screen. Zoom. There, let me see. Zoom, mask, phone number. Masking phone numbers and participant list. Overview. Sign into Zoom web portal as an owner or admin with privileges to edit account settings. In the navigation panel, click Account Management. Oh, click Account Management. And click Account Settings. Account Management, Account Settings. And then click the Auto Conferencing tab. Toll calls, third party, mask. There we go. This setting will be enabled for all groups and users. Settings that have been previously changed. Enable. You know, masked. You don't look like you're masked. Here, Shamil. I will allow Shamil in. Fuck. Oh wait, the phone number person. Try to. I'm going to not allow you in. Try to come back, and let's see if your phone number gets masked. Because I don't really want to dox your ass. It's just, that's the kind of Nazi asshole that I am. I don't want to dox you. So try to come back. See what the hell happens. There we go. Fuck. Shamil, is that your name? Shamil? Shamil, Shamazel. What? Fuck. Are you doing that purposely? Is that voice perfect? You got, oh crap, you got a nice microphone there. You sound like a chipmunk, a high chipmunk. It's adorable. It's adorable, whatever you're doing, but I can't understand it. This is awesome. I love this voice. Sorry. Oh god. Yeah, at least I'm laughing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you should listen to yourself. You sound like a very nice monk. Oh crap. Oh, am I gonna dox this guy? Let's admit. Oh, let's hope it.
It's still showing the number.
Yeah, probably this mic is better.
There you go. Now you don't sound like a high chipmunk. Yay.
Yeah, I'm also using Fedora, and I am that guy from Russia that you're calling Glockenspiel. I donated to you several times. So
cool. Thank you.
You
so
know me. And what I wanted to ask you, Eli, I'm former sysadmin, and since I'm watching you since 12-15, I think, and you inspired me to go to DevOps way, and I want to start my own tech channel to share my knowledge and bring my fellow sysadmins to up to speed with this whole DevOps hype. Can you give me some advice?
So you just want to create a YouTube channel to talk about sysadmin stuff?
Not sysadmin. How become DevOps guy with for sysadmins?
Oh, okay. I don't know. What advice can I give you? So you speak Russian? I mean, you're from Russia. Do you speak Russian?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
you gotta ask sometimes. Who knows? One of the things that I would say is if you target, like a lot of people want to target the English language audience because it's a larger audience, but you know how to speak English. I don't know how to speak Russian. Even though it's a smaller audience, you might actually get a lot more traction if you focus it towards Russian audiences.
Yeah, I thought so, because in English part of YouTube, there is a lot of DevOps kind of channels. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and what do you think about whole this DevOps hype that started recently? And I even think that salaries for DevOps guys is up the roof.
Yeah. Well, it's not high. I mean, it's, more and more companies are developing more and more customized, apps for their own people. And so having people that can both code and are able to do the operations, be able to do the troubleshooting and figure out what the hell's breaking with it. Yeah, I don't think that's high. I mean, that's just where the industry is going. Because like for like me as an old school IT person, what it used to be is basically we used off the shelf packages. So, we used Windows NT Server, we used Windows NT, we used QuickBooks. Like I couldn't call fucking QuickBooks and tell them to change something if I wanted to, right?
Yeah,
So,
been there.
that's where you had the developers and then you had the IT people. And like even in your own company, like when I worked in the corporate world, I did not have a phone line to our developers. Like if they spit out some piece of crap software and it didn't work, like there was nobody to call. So in the modern world, as more and more companies develop their own, their iPhone and the mobile apps, their web apps, all of that, then having people that are capable of both developing and being able to do that operation side, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. That's just where it's going.
Yeah, and what if I decide to start my my own YouTube channel? I don't want to just to teach people about this DevOps stuff. Maybe you can suggest me some topic that do not delivered by anybody's yet.
What I would think about, like I said, if I was in your position, is one of the issues that I have is, don't get me wrong, I love being in America, I love the United States, blah, blah, bullshit. But everybody is way too fucking focused on us. You know what I'm saying? It's way too focused on whatever it is that we're doing. And so I think there's a huge market out there for looking what's going on, again, within your sphere, the Russian sphere or whatever. And seeing like what issues are you running into? Like what, are there different hosting providers that you folks have access to? What are the different laws? So I know Putin, I'm not gonna get into politics, but I know Putin has been trying to push for more for Russians to use Russian type apps. And so what I would say is, from your perspective, do videos and do classes about that.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate this suggestion. By the way, I'm using Fedora also, so
you're using Fedora, like Fedora, yeah.
Don't give a crap to guy
Yeah.
that guy with Fedora.
Sorry, it's using the wrong input. I went to click on it to change it, and it just went anyway without my permission.
Yeah.
Into the stream. I don't think it's gonna let me.
All right. So, do you have anything else?
No, this is gonna be the default.
Yeah,
you're talking to us, Mark.
Appreciate
is Mark
your...
always talking to us? But hold on one second. Let me mute Mark. I gotta mute him. There we go. Okay. Yes. Now you can talk. Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate your hospitality, and I appreciate your tech knowledge that you gave us all, and I feel I must leave for now. But I'm on the internet with 1 million subscribers guy.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and like I said, we do office hours. So every Thursday, if you have any other questions on the main channel, that'll be actually office hours. So we can talk about this kind of stuff more there.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Kevin disappeared. Somebody came on, Kevin came, and Kevin left. Dun, dun, dun.
Do you got to unmute Mark, or can he unmute himself?
Well, no.
All right, guys,
he
I finally got it working. Is it right?
Yeah, well, we can hear you. Well, we could hear you before. I actually had to mute you because you couldn't hear us.
It was, I was going in to click on the correct input, correct output device, and it flew me into the stream without giving me 2 seconds to select it. So, yeah. So whatever. But I'm here and it's working in Windows 10.
Windows. Oh, okay. So I'm like, how did you fix it in Fedora? Use Windows 10. Okay, never mind.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with Neil Gompa over at Fedora.
I didn't know Fedora was still around. Kind of thought that I got scrapped at some. Fedora was cool. Like 20 years ago, Fedora was the cool distro. But yeah,
it's where I cut my teeth in Linux in community college. But it has come a long way as an open source project. It's I would have said 2 days ago it was rock solid, but today not so much. So it has something they implemented called Pipewire, which is a new audio interface, which is, it's supposed to make, I don't know if you've ever heard of Jack, but Jack is like for professional audio recording and setups. And they made Pipewire, which is to simplify Jack and make it easy to use for the end user, with also having the capabilities of Jack audio. Because for the longest time, which gives you more professional features, for the longest time in Linux, audio was Pulse Audio was the only thing that would work well, and it's garbage. It has all kinds of issues. So Pipewire was supposed to fix that. For the longest time, Pipewire was working great for me. Apparently not so much. Not anymore. So
fair enough.
But they're
so where are you out of? I was saying that before. I thought you were out of the UK for some reason. I guess Yates sounded very English. Where are you at?
Well, it's William Yeats is in my lineage, I believe. He's a poet. I'm in North Carolina, actually. I'm in the US.
Yeah.
My ancestors come over a long time ago. Yeah. Long time ago. But yeah, I just newly got hired. I can't say too much. I think I can tell you who I got hired to shortly without breaking any rules. But 2 Cows, it's Ting Internet, so I'll be a customer advisor for them. Yeah, and I've been doing system administration work for the last 10 years, and it recently, about a couple of years ago, I picked up the MSP model when I realized, well, this traditional break fix is not working. The price of systems are so low now. You can get a $200 system for an end user and it'll do them fine, or $200 or $300, you know. So it just didn't make sense. So I did everybody on a subscription model now, and I just service it, regular maintenance and regular upkeep, and then any kind of thing that they want on demand, they have access to me to get that done at a reduced price. So what it
does that know if you're getting a normal job, does that mean the MSP business isn't doing that well?
It's doing as well considering where I'm coming from, you know, because I never really did have the cash flow to really make the business go. So the job is I'm dedicated to the job. It's going to help me to build the MSP in the long run. But I'm putting my head down right now. I've scaled back and I'm just working for 5 to 7, 8 clients or so, and about 7 or 8 clients, and then I'm just going to focus more on my job and do this in my off hours. So I'll be moonlighting, basically.
That makes sense. Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
But I've watched your channel way back when you were doing the tech, when you were doing purely tech education, and that stuff was fantastic. But it's just now that you're doing the Silicon Dojo, it makes a lot of sense that you come back to your center, so to speak. You come back to what you always did on the channel. I hope it works out for you. I don't know what is all what's all preventing it from taking off or what's going on with it, but I do wish you the best. I think there's definitely a market for that type of thing, and I think it's a good thing that you're doing and you're making an impact. So,
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, well, we'll see how the again, it's not COVID, it's the government responses to COVID.
Yeah.
How that does for me.
they're just idiots. Leadership in this country has failed us. What they're doing to Lewis is, they're on his tail all the time about something, it seems like.
No, but it's New York City. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, New York City is a shithole. There's no doubt about it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody, but my God, it's gotten terrible. I wouldn't want to live there for nothing.
Yeah, it's a special place. Yeah.
It used to be something, years ago. It used to be the Mecca, next to maybe California. It used to be the place to go for business and even technology and stuff. But I know that California leadership, Gavin Newsom, is running roughshod over his people, and that's not good either. What do you think about the new? I do custom builds for people from time to time, and what I'll do is I'll build the computer, then I'll service it after the fact on a service plan, because you really can't make all that much on a custom build these days, especially now. What do you think about the new legislation about them making high-end builds basically illegal? It's not as clear cut as that.
I'm sorry. High end? What was it? What's high end?
Like anything with like an i9 or i7 or something, Intel, or like a very high-end Ryzen chip, is supposedly you're restricted in your access to those machines, and only like certain companies or whatever can use them, and you can be something about power. It is the power grids. They were having trouble with the power grids. P&G in California was mismanaging stuff. This was California legislation, and they were basically
so it's like a power thing that they don't want you burning so much. Yeah. Well, California's going to do what California's going to do. I have a feeling in North Carolina, it's probably not going to matter for a long time.
Right. I would not think that they would be stupid enough to pass anything like that here. But if anything,
people
much the other way to a fault,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are points to it though. Like if you see some bad builds and you see some overpowered systems, I mean, they do burn a shit ton of electricity.
They do.
And so if somebody doesn't know what they're buying, I mean, if all they're doing is checking email every day, they're burning $50 on electricity every month. That kind of sucks. So there is some point to it, but I don't think it's going to hit North Carolina. So
no,
probably won't matter too much.
But I just think it's interesting. It's interesting to see all this legislation being passed. Like 3 years ago, there was. It seems like more and more control over the people as we go. It's becoming more and more of a thing. Just feels like control to me.
Yeah, that's another discussion.
We won't.
I don't know. They've always done regulation. I mean, when they got rid of leaded gasoline, people had a fit too. Thank God that's gone. So,
But I got the vaccine and everything, and I'm doing good. First shot's nothing. They say the second shot will make you a little sick, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally ended up getting it. But yeah, I'm just doing the system admin stuff on the side, and doing the onboarding and job training for my new job. So my thing is staying PG on YouTube as much as possible and not saying something that's going to get me to lose my job.
Yeah.
That could happen at any minute nowadays. It's a minefield. You've been through that and through it and through it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that's the other thing is like people nowadays with social media is, before that was the nice part. Like you go back 10, 15 years. I mean, you went to the bar, you bitched with you said what the hell you wanted to your friend, and then it didn't go anywhere else. Now you say that same shit on Facebook and your boss sees it.
Wild ass
It's
open.
like, yeah.
It's a mess.
So cool. Yeah. Okay, man. So I've done my 2 hours.
I'm gonna let somebody else
log off.
I'm gonna let you get back to the rest of your day. Good to see you, man.
All right.
Good to see you live.
talking
It's
to
the
you.
first time I've ever been live with you like this. Take care.
Yeah, cool. See ya. There we go. So hey, we have had our first open mic edition of eBeggar. This is Tuesday. The eBeggar. Nobody came on and said Nigerian. It's really kind of crapping my pants on that. I know somebody out there wanted to do it. I know somebody out there was thinking like, I wonder if I get on Eli's thing. I just say Nigerian, what'll happen? Sadly, right now, there's probably a couple of Nigerians. Come on, what's Nigerian? What's wrong with saying Nigerian? That's not the same thing. Anyways, I don't know. So this was curious. This was interesting. I don't think we ever got very many people watching. We're at like 32 people watching right now, which isn't horrible, isn't amazing, isn't horrible, just is as it is. So I don't know. I'm thinking about like, I'm liking this whole Zoom thing. I'm liking, this isn't right. This is weird. I may do this again. I'm not hyped on this. I'm not like coming out of this going, yes, I want to do this again. But I'm liking the Zoom. I'm liking the conversation. I'm liking the stream into YouTube. So we're definitely going to do more. We're going to do more Zoom powered stuff, right? So again, on the main channel, office hours. So I'm going to keep doing office hours, like talking about tech stuff. I think that makes sense. So every week we'll do at least 2 hours of office hours on the main channel. Going to do the interviews. So hopefully we'll have the first interview this Friday. Hopefully we'll see how that goes. But then I don't know, it could kind of be interesting. Like I'm thinking about with this, like if I reached out to other tech people that I knew, like what if I got a list of tech things going on in the news, and then with other tech people that I know could BS with them whatever the hell's going on in the news, like with what Yates just said about California passing this bill theoretically banning gaming PCs. Just sit there and bullshit with like another tech professional, not just anybody that comes on, like an actual tech professional. Like, what do you think about this? Oh, blah 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 blah. That might be an interesting way to go. I don't know. Like I say, liking Zoom, liking all this, liking my AirPods Max. Yeah, I may be a sheeple. But sometimes it's nice to be a fucking sheep. Does anybody ever ask the sheep if the sheep are happy? If you're a sheep, but you're a happy sheep, isn't that still winning? I do have to say, I like the AirPods Max. They're a little bit heavy. They're a little bit like weird in some ways. But for audio quality all the way around and for working, little things like, Eli, why don't you use Linux? Well, we just saw 2 examples. Just saying. Anyway, so I'm liking the AirPods Max. You're thinking about it. If you're gonna do a lot of Zoom stuff, you might want to take a look at the AirPods Max. And so yeah. So I'm gonna go. I don't know, have some coffee, maybe play a video game, finish my slide deck for another class tomorrow. That's all I got. So yeah. I will I will see you all later. I will point the camera in a different direction so I don't like end this video before I've actually stopped talking. And yeah, I'll see you. I don't know. Again, office hours. Thursday is office hours. If you want this kind of thing over on the main channel. There we go.